need y'all to do me a favor right fast. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you can get all of our content as soon as it drops. With that being said, let's get back to the video. You dig? All right, what's going on, y'all? She got CJ100, 50% of the 5100 podcast. And I'm back at you with another podcast episode. And today we're going to have a conversation that's not typical. You don't hear a lot of guys say what I'm about to say, think about it the way that I think about it. But this is something I've said before, but today I want to elaborate on it, right? I don't call my daughter Princess. And I got a whole lot of reasons why I don't do it. I've had this conversation with so many men, and most of them don't agree with me, or they don't even have an opinion on the matter. But it's not something that's said typically, right? So look at it like this. Princesses, kings, and queens, right? What that is more fiction than it is reality. There are actually very few kings. There are actually very few queens, few princes and princesses, right? That's more of a fantasy or a Disney motion picture movie type of thing. It's not a reality when we're talking about real life, right? Now, I'm also the parent that's just, I don't tell my kids Santa gave them something. I say Daddy worked overtime and got it for you. You know, I don't believe in selling a false reality to children. So that's my main position overall, right? So you could see why I might not call my daughter Princess. But it goes deeper than that for me, right? So first of all, I want to say this. I don't do that because I think it puts an unfair standard expectation. It's an unachievable goal. It's a false idea. It's not a real thing, honestly, right? So I remember when Meghan Markle, the white woman that people said is black, right? Because her mother's black and whatever, but you look at her, I mean, that's a white woman, bro, you know. Her DNA may say something different, but let's be real, that's a white woman, right? I remember the excitement and everyone talking about, oh, wow, this is the first black princess. And it's like, bruh, really? We got to stop claiming everybody as ours, but whatever. So you remember the excitement, and then you remember when the rumors came out that the queen was like, you ain't gonna have this black baby be royalty, yada, yada, yada. Everything went left, right? Because the truth of how they feel supposedly came out. Whether it's true or not, doesn't really matter. This is what happened. So even in that, she was not truly a looked at as royalty. Us as black people, or indigenous peoples, whatever you want to say, we tend to believe that the way white people live is how we should live. And I don't have an issue with white people at all. Like, I'm good on it, but let's just be real. That's where we get a lot of our measurements from. That's like our barometer of what we should be as people. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think we can have our own and be just fine if we take it serious. So Meghan Markle is supposed to be royalty, and you see what happens, right? It doesn't matter is what I'm getting at. Being called a princess does not matter if you don't live in a place, or you're not in a place where, you know, it's healthy, it's a good place to be in. It just doesn't matter. It never has. Like, the titles don't really matter for real. So I don't really harp on the idea of princess or prince or king or queen. I just don't, right? So let's get into why, personally, I have an issue with the word princess for my daughter, right? Because I want to say this. We always talk about how black women are enough. You know, I've seen that for the last 10 years. Black women sharing posts like, I am enough, and black woman, you are enough. And I agree. You know what I'm saying? As far as who you are as a, you know, just you, like the overall generalization of what a black woman is. It's a woman with a darker skin tone. That is enough to be a woman, right? You know, and, you know, having a uterus and, you know, all that good stuff. right? That is a woman, right? So I've always agreed with that. But here's the thing. I don't call my daughter princess because I'm not trying to make her feel like you're better than what you are, right? Think about it like this. And this, I'm going to show you why our podcast is so necessary when we have real conversations like this. I'm going to show you why it's so necessary. So let's say I have a son, right? Which I don't, but let's say I have a son. And I say, I want my son to be a heterosexual, strong, resilient, providing, protecting man. Nobody has an issue with me saying that. But if I say, I want my daughter to be a delicate, soft, submissive, nice wife, I'm going to get a lot of pushback. Because I said submissive and I said nice, that would be a problem. Why is that? The reason that's a problem is because in our community, the black community, we live in this false reality that our women have to be strong and be more and, dominate everything. And I don't believe in that. It's okay for my daughter to just be her. You get what I'm saying? I don't put that label on her, or you're a princess, so you got to carry yourself this way. No, I can teach you how to carry yourself from a man's point of view and show you what a man should be without calling you princess. That's just glitter and rainbows and, all that unnecessary stuff that really doesn't amount to anything. That's the butter. I'm the guns. I don't deal with the butter. If y'all remember Baby Boy when Melvin was talking to them about guns and butter, I'm guns for sure. Hardware, things that last, things that hold value. Calling her princess has no real value. It doesn't. So I tend not to call my daughter that. Now, she does have a nickname. I won't say it here, but she knows it and it's hers. It's a name other than the name she was born with that her dad gives her that she can see and relate to and hear and feel special because no other person gets called that in her life. That's just her. Every other man calls their child princess. I call her the nickname I gave her, and she values it. I don't have to call her princess. You see what I'm getting at? It creates more of a problem than it does a positive outcome. I need y'all to tell me what calling your daughter princess has done for her. So, I've had these conversations several times in several different ways, right? I was in a barbershop one day, and we were having a conversation about black women, black men, relationships, fatherhood, all that good stuff, right? The conversations that actually do need to be had in our community. It needs to be happening on more of a deeper level. The surface, we've covered that for so many years. It's time to get deeper into it, right? So I brought up how some girls look at their daddies as plucks. And those that are not from Memphis, what a pluck is a duck. A guy that can be taken advantage of. A money machine. Like he's not taken seriously, right? I brought that up. I said, a lot of fathers are ducks to their daughter. And everybody was like in an uproar. And I was like, do y'all not understand what I'm saying? There are girls out here that have a father that dish out money, give them whatever they want, and they run over them. And then there were brothers that were like, well, the same old trope. Well, I want to give my daughter everything, so when a dude comes up to her, he can't just, give her a gift and she be blown away. That's surface level thinking. The reason I say that is because all it takes is a dude to have it and she's still blown away. If you haven't instilled the wisdom in her, if you have not given her the game, see, spending all that money don't do nothing. It just gives her a nice life and has her with a standard that she should have nice things. That does not explain what a man is. That's where us as black men have gone wrong, even when we are in the house. Because you have women today, let's get into it. You have women today that talk about providing. If a man can't provide for me, I can't be with him, right? So you have to think about what that actually means. What do they mean by that? What are they watching? What are those girls and women taking in? And what were they raised around to make them think that way? But before I do that, let's get into provision, right? Because what do people think provision is? Money. They don't think about me providing another, that's the root word. Provide is the root word of providing. So provision is another, that's another extension of the word provide. Providing, provision comes in many different forms. Providing discipline, providing structure, providing an outline for life. Like the Bible, it provides us an outline for life, right? It's not just monetary. You won't hear those other things because that does not matter, because you have fathers that are saying, I'm going to give my daughter everything financially so she doesn't have to worry about meeting a guy and he gives her something and she's head over heels in love, which still would not stop her from doing that, because if she meets a guy she likes that can provide it, she'll be head over heels in love because he can do what dad did. So that logic is flawed, bro. But logic is flawed in general. I've already said that before. But moving on. So you got these girls today, women today, that look at a man as a provider. He's supposed to provide and protect. Let's go with protect. They see protection as stepping in the way of something when it goes wrong. They don't see protection as a before or a precautionary measure. Like, babe, I don't want you to go to this spot because that spot is known for X, Y, and Z to happen. I don't want you going. I don't want to go. But she decides to go. At that point, she has refused her protection. That's actually happened, and a woman was deleted at a club after her man told her not to go. The woman that went on the girls' trip with her friends and the soy boys or whatever, she didn't have male protection. So what happened? She was brutally beaten until she died. That happened. So preventative measures, right? Stopping you from doing something that you want to do is also a part of protection. Y'all have to look at that situation too, right? So this all ties into why I don't call my daughter princess, because you see provision as me giving you what you want. You see protection as me bailing you out of a situation you've put yourself in. Though that could be a form of protection, that puts me in a bad situation. You see what I'm getting at? So I'm not the king's guard for my daughter. I'm just her protector. I'm just somebody that provides her with all of those things I mentioned earlier to the best of my ability, right? I have a relationship with my daughter. So she doesn't have to rely on what I buy her to feel like she has a relationship with her dad. She doesn't even care about that, honestly. Children don't even really care about things that you buy them. They only care about it for the moment that they playing with it. After that, they don't even care that you bought it, don't even know where it came from. And eventually those toys get thrown away or sent to the Goodwill or something. That's usually what happens, right? So, moving on. I've already addressed protection and provision and how basically the mindset of calling your daughter a princess can have her thinking along these same lines. See, what we don't really talk about, and I'm honest to say what the 5100 podcast ain't really talked about, is the fact that spoiling your daughters is just as bad as you being an absent father. They ain't gonna like that one. They not gonna like that one. Cause they're not gonna like that one, bro. That one's gonna make them feel away, because in our community, and I would say American culture, you're supposed to spoil your daughters. Can you tell me what is spoiled that is good for you? I'll give y'all a moment to think about what's spoiled and is actually good? Go ahead. I'll give you a minute. Nothing? Yeah, I thought so. So nothing is good if it's spoiled. So why would I spoil my daughter? Women push that more than anybody else. Why? Because it makes them feel good. I'm not interested in just making my daughter feel good. I want her to be good. I want to raise her to be a young lady, a soft woman, a submissive woman who knows who to submit to, who knows how to identify the right man and will come to me for counsel and for me to give her the approval or the yay or nay, right? I'm raising a daughter that's going to be a great wife, a great mother, that's going to value the roles of a wife. You dig what I'm saying? And she won't have to settle, or she won't have to break her neck to find that man, because her dad's going to help her. That's more valuable than me buying her shit. And that's what we get lost in. That spoiling bullshit. I'm going to spoil her, and then when she get out here with a badass attitude and rebel against you, you don't understand why. No, you understand, but you don't want to own it. That's why I don't do it. I have fought back against my grandmother, my mother, my sister, because they say I can be too hard, which is true. I honestly can understand and agree with it. I can be a little too hard, which is why I want the right wife to balance me out so my daughter doesn't get too much of me, right? But nonetheless, I am a man, and I don't want her to be a brat, somebody that can't be told anything unless it's her getting her way. She does not get her way with me. I do not just tell her, you're the best. She told me several times, I'm the best cheerleader. And I'm like, no, you're not. You don't get to say that. You have to earn that. And we don't teach our daughters that enough. We do too much of the, oh, well, nobody's supposed to hit you, or a man's supposed to do this, and this, that for you. Well, they don't even understand they don't truly understand what it means to take care of yourself. I'm not talking independent woman. I'm talking a person, a human. Because we protect them, we think we protect them from so much, when we're actually hindering them. There are certain things I do protect my daughter from. There are certain things I just tell her the truth about. You know, you should never argue in front of your children. As a man, you should never raise your voice. Why? Men are going to raise their voice, baby. She's seen me raise my voice. I've raised my voice at her. I've raised my voice at her mother. And some of those times, a lot of those times, it was justified. But it's okay to see her mother yell at me. I've literally had my daughter tell me, don't talk to my mama like that, after her mother's talked to me like that. No, that's the problem we're having. Our girls are not seeing the reality of life. We're selling them this Princess and the Frog ass reality, and it's not even a reality, bro. It's false. This is fake. So I give my daughter the real. Now she's a child, so I limit how deep I go into the real. We ain't had the birds and the bees conversation, but we've talked about a lot. So I don't call her princess. I don't spoil her. I don't hide the real truth from her. I give it to her. I actually give my daughter the game. See, mamas don't truly do that unless it's in a way. Let me not say that. Women will do it, but they won't do it from the standpoint a father would. Men don't get to live in a fantasy world. We don't get to live in a makeup world. We don't get to live in a weave world. We don't get to live in a somebody's gonna do something for us world. Men don't get to live in that. Right? So I didn't want to spend too much time on this, but I've had people ask me what do I mean and why I say that, I don't call my daughter princess. I just kind of want to give y'all a little understanding. I'm not trying to recreate the women of today, because I look at how they become that way. Whether father was there or not. There is a situation where a father can be there and cause a lot of damage. And I'm not talking, he smacks mama around. I'm talking about he over spoils his daughter. He gives her too much. He lets her get away with it. Women seem to be okay with that until that girl starts to act their way towards them. As a father, I'm going to tell you, I'm not having it. I'm not just going to give her way because she's a girl. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to handicap her like that. I'm going to help her understand why you shouldn't hit a man or step up to a man like you're a man, because he can knock you the fuck out. I'm also going to teach her how you can be abusive and hurt men with your tongue. Watch what you say. I'm going to give her that lesson. I'm not going to say, watch what you say to anybody, which is something I do say. But I'm saying I'm going to have an actual conversation about men, to how to respect and talk to a man. See, when you're talking that princess shit, she feels as if something's supposed to be given to her, catered to her. She wants this amazing, happy life. That's not reality, baby. It's going to be somewhat of a struggle in some capacity, whether it's financial, whether it's mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It's going to be a struggle in being with somebody for the rest of your goddamn life. So I don't sell her the Disney fantasy shit. I don't. I actually give my daughter the real, and I think if we do that, we'll be setting our kids up for success. Our daughters need that from fathers, that stern reality with that loving touch from a father. So I don't call my daughter princess because I don't want to corrupt her and turn her into a selfish, spoiled, modern woman. And on that note, I'm going to wrap this thing up. You dig.